Hey guys, what's up, man? Welcome to this wonderful episode. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about what has been happening around the world. Yes, it has been, particularly the G20 has been what has been trending, and India has been the one hosting the 2023 G20 there in Delhi, in India. A lot of people were saying, what is the G20? They have come up across this word G20, G20, G20. Well, the G20 is an intergovernmental forum that comprises of 19 sovereign countries and includes the African Union and also the European Union. And this G20, they are sovereignty countries who have coming together to tackle international financial stability and the international development, and to plan together to give the world, the sovereignty countries, a stable development. Same G20, they talk about how to grow their economy, and in this same G20, it's also a forum, a list of government bodies, countries, or rather how you put it, they come together to discuss about their economic problem and how they can be able to make the economy very stable for their various countries. And the list of the countries that are in this G20, a lot of people will be saying, who are this G20? Well, ranging from alphabetical order, you have the Australia, you have the Brazil, you have Canada, you have China, you have France, you have Germany, you have India, you have Indonesia, you have Italy, you have Japan, you have Mexico, you have Russia, you have Saudi Arabia, you have South Africa. South Africa happens to be the only country from Africa at the moment. Korea, Turkey, the United Kingdom, and the United States of America. So these are actually the G20. So at the moment, we only have one African country in the G20. People will be saying, why is Tinubu in India for the G20? Well, he was actually invited. The president of Nigeria was actually invited. But in this video, you will see other countries. 9 countries were actually invited along to participate in this G20 summit. And in this video, you're going to see the 9 countries, and you're going to see part of the reasons, the arrangement and everything that comprises of this G20 and how the program is actually going. Just sit tight, relax, and enjoy this video. And please don't forget to share, like, and subscribe.
The IMF chief joined in as folk dancers welcomed her at Delhi airport for the G20 summit. World leaders are arriving in the national capital. UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has landed in Delhi. Stringent traffic regulations have come into force. Some of the world's most powerful and influential leaders, including US President Joe Biden, UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida, and other heads of state will discuss issues ailing the world in the 2-day summit. The summit will also see the participation of top administrators from international organizations such as the United Nations, the International Monetary Fund, and the World Bank. It will take place at the newly inaugurated Bharat Mandapam at Pragati Maidan. Officials have been pulling out all stops to ensure that the international dignitaries have an unforgettable experience. On display would be India's rich culture and heritage. G20 guests will be served in intricately engraved silverware. Around 15,000 silverware had been crafted by over 200 artisans. Now, as part of security measures, the capital city has deployed nearly 130,000 security officers, bomb squads, commandos, snipers, and more. Delhi is also heavily relying on modern technology to combat the possibilities of every threat: chemical, radiological, weapon attacks, aerial attacks, and protests. Accelerating climate action through higher mitigation and strengthening the climate clean energy nexus to reach global net zero emissions as early as possible will be among the focus areas of discussion at the session on One Earth during the G20 summit. The summit will see a lineup of over 25 heads of state. However, it will miss a few notable faces like Chinese President Xi Jinping, who is skipping G20 for the first time since he came to power. During the G20 summit, not only member countries but also other nations are invited to participate. India has invited 9 such countries to the G20 summit, including Bangladesh, Myanmar, the UAE, the Netherlands, Mauritius, Nigeria, Oman, Singapore, and Spain. While G20 has been around for 24 years, it doesn't necessarily convene every year. In more than 2 decades, a total of 17 G20 summits have been held. This 18th occasion is when G20 summit is being hosted in Delhi, and the theme is inspired by the 3 colors of the Indian flag: saffron, white and green. The G20 logo has the word Bharat written in Devanagari script underneath it. The theme symbolizes one earth, one family, one future. Delhi has geared up for the event with extensive preparations.
अगर हम लॉजिस्टिक्स की बात करें तो अगेन क्योंकि हमें पता ही था कि ये प्रोग्राम होने वाला है, तो बहुत महीने पहले ही इसके ऊपर भी हमारी एक्सरसाइज एक्सटेंसिव चली है और जो भी हमारी लॉजिस्टिक रिक्वायरमेंट्स हैं, चाहे वो वेपन्स की हों, बुलेट प्रूफ जैकेट्स की हों, DFMDs की हों, एक्सरे मशीन्स की हों, तो इन सब को हमने प्रोक्योर किया है और हम बिल्कुल अब प्रिपेयर्ड हैं इस इवेंट को होस्ट करने के लिए और बहुत सक्सेसफुली होस्ट होगा.
The Delhi police and the Delhi government have also issued advisories to manage traffic and ensure essential shops remain open during the summit.